All right, today is July the 5th, 2016, and right now at about 8:30 p.m. in the foothills of Los Angeles, we have a barometric pressure of 29.97. That's been fluctuating all day between about 30.00 and what we have right now, which is 29.97 inches. We have a temperature of 70 degrees. The relative humidity is 65%, and the dew point is 57 degrees. And we're watching the northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We can see this big hurricane, which is now a Category 4 storm right here. This is Bloss, and Bloss is moving due west at about, I think, 14 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the hurricane map right now, and we can see the stats on Bloss, which is Category 4, 140 mile per hour winds. So as of yesterday morning on the 4th of July, we had 85 mile per hour winds. By last night, these winds had intensified to, I think, about 110 miles per hour. Then this morning we had 125 mile per hour winds, and now the storm is up to 140 mile per hour winds. So this thing has really picked up speed. It's got a core pressure of 947 millibar, and it's moving due west at 13 miles per hour. We also have another disturbance which is quickly gaining momentum. This morning, last night, yesterday, it was around 10% chance. Today, we've got a 40% chance of hurricane formation in 2 days, right behind this system. So let's start with the water vapor loop. We can see that there's an area of high pressure that's been installed right here, just northeast of the storm. So we've got a high pressure area right here, and the way we can determine that is by the large dark circle here, which has its own imprint. You can see this little peak that's being formed by the aperture of that transmitter right there. And what's happening is we see these little thunderstorms that are popping up right down here near the edge of this storm. They're all moving to the south. They're sort of moving away from the high pressure, which is the way it works. You have high pressure, and high pressure flows to low pressure. Here in this case, we have low pressure right here, and we have high pressure up here, and everything is drying out right down this entire area, actually, but especially down here we can see the southbound movement away from the core of high pressure, which is right dead center in this circular area right here. And that will ensure, this high pressure here will ensure that this system maintains a more or less of a westbound trek. And that's exactly what it's doing right now. It's moving due west, and the storm is being targeted with microwave. We can see the blast patterns. These people are being very careful now about allowing us to see that detail. Also out here we have low pressure spinning right here. This is an upper level low, which has a transmitter on it right here. And we've got another low over here, just northwest of the Hawaiian Islands. We can see this area trying to spin counterclockwise. They've got a transmitter on top of this system. We can see that outline right here, and that is affecting the jet stream flow, which has nowhere to go. It has to go around all this high pressure that's been installed all through here. And plus we have another system way up here near the Aleutian Islands coming out of the Bering Sea area. And look at the right angle spinning on this core right here. So we've got another low up here, which is spinning. That has a transmitter on it. We've got a transmitter here, over here, and right down here. And then we have this huge area of thunderstorms right here, this big cell right over northern Mexico, which is about to be blown apart right here. The very beginning of that blast pattern, we can actually see the dimple marks. We're going to take a look at that real quick before the Photoshop that. But this is this storm here right now is being blasted. We can see the rings and all the blast pattern evidence all the way around that entire storm, especially on the west side of that right there. Okay, let's look at the jet stream real quick. This is the jet stream map, and we can see most of that flow is going right into Washington and Oregon, right through there. Okay, next is the East Pacific water vapor loop, and we can see the we have Bloss right here, Hurricane Blas, and then we have this huge disturbance right here, which is just on the verge of becoming a tropical depression. Things are starting to organize. We can see that we're just in the last couple of frames starting to see what looks like some sort of counterclockwise rotation just starting to develop right there. Now this system here is being blown apart. We can actually get a better shot of the blast pattern, which is shooting out here around the south edge of that system. Let's go ahead and look at the infrared loop. We can see the intensity of all this weather here. This thing has an eye wall. Okay, let's look at the visible light map now. And we have the day to night transition. Now there is a lot of photoshopping going on, and also there's been a lot of duplicate frames inserted, so we cannot see the detail. They've been very careful about now we're seeing the photoshopping right there. Let's go ahead and run this frame by frame. Now it looks like right about between these two frames the system was hit right near the core, because we see a shock wave right here all the way around there, right close to the core, moving out. And as we advance another frame, this moves out a little bit. Now we hit it next frame. You can see that semicircular pattern there moving away from the core. Here it is again, moving out. And then we see something here right near the core, as this could just be shadowing from the day to night, but at any rate they are hitting that storm. And then we have the photoshopping right here as we transition from the day to night. So they are doing some work here to try to hide their the microwave blast pattern evidence. Now if we take a look at this system up here, we can see some good detail as well. As we advance through here, we can see that right there it's hit again. Right here we have two shock waves, one right here and one right here. These are semicircles moving out from this center point. Let's back this up and watch it. Right about here. And then we see right here and right here they hit it twice just before the day to night transition. Right here, and we see a semicircle right there, sort of a half circle right there where they hit it. And then we have all the photoshopping on the next frame. Now as we roll this, we can see the shock wave moving out right there, and that is a microwave blast. They've superheated the core of this, and we see the that ring shooting out right there. And this is the remnants of Agatha. They blasted, they completely superheated that system, and some of that moisture moved up towards Southern California. And they are already photoshopping this next system here, so they're targeting this area as well. But as I say, these could have been taken care of very easily if they had nipped them in the bud, which is what they've been doing all winter and spring. These thunderstorms were popping up, and there actually was a hurricane in January, which I covered, and I have a video on that. If you just scroll through my videos from January of 2016, you'll see that there was a hurricane near Hawaii in January, and it was not reported on the news here in Southern California. But that demonstrates that these guys have their hands full with these transmitters. They prevent hurricanes, which is a good thing. But here in this case, they've allowed these to spool up just to try to demonstrate that there is some naturally occurring weather. But that's false. Everything that's happening here in these videos is that we're observing is either controlled by man or manipulated by man or created by man or and women and stopped by men and women running these transmitters. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Let's look at the sea level analysis here. We have a half a map, and we can see the high pressure installed here. And we had cooler weather today. This morning it was very cool, about 63 degrees, clear skies. I have not seen any chemtrail activity at all in the last few days. We have a low indicated right over the Four Corner States, right here, where this area. We got low pressure all through there. All right, let's look at the 500 millibar map. We can see that this is a high pressure area right here, and this is probably high pressure as well, right in this area. Let's look next at the, no, pardon me, that's low pressure right here. This is that remnants of that Agatha, I believe, moving up towards California. The other system is much further south. All right, so that's the 300 millibar map. We have this center low, this upper level low here. We've got high pressure right on top of this low. Look at this. This is that thunderstorm system that is being blown apart. I just showed in the visible light mode, and they have a high indicated right here, right on top of that thunderstorm. We go back to the 500 millibar map. They have the high indicated right over here. All right. So that is pretty much the update. If we take a look at the IntelliCast map, there is some rain showing up right here where that thunderstorm cell is being blown apart right here. Okay, well that is the update, and you just leave it right here on the visible light mode, showing the photoshopping detail, which they're trying to hide their nefarious activity. They are hitting this storm, but if they just put a little more power on it, they could destroy it, just like we saw with Hurricane Patricia last year. If you go through my videos and find Hurricane Patricia last September, I think it was, 200-mile-per-hour winds. The storm just magically disintegrated right as it went over the mainland here of Mexico, right near, I forget, Mazatlan, someplace right near there. And they destroyed that storm immediately, and there was very little damage from a storm of that size, 200-mile-per-hour winds. So these guys are putting on a show, and if you're a new subscriber and you have not seen my videos, take a look at the June 23rd video, which shows exactly how this is done in the visible light mode. They target these storms. There's some great detail on the June 23rd video, plus a lot of other ones, but that one comes to mind just a few days ago, June 23rd. You can see the dimple marks and how they do all their, how they superheat these storms. Okay, that's it. We'll do another update tomorrow.